So I want to talk about some experiences that which really opened my mind, and the biggest breakthrough experience for me was when I took my first cup of ayahuasca in a Colombian jungle. Before I was materialist, quite happy, quite knowing everything, and didn't have to listen to any other opinions because I knew. But then I got this awakening call, and I remember I was this little and this big at the same moment. I wanted to die, and I knew I am God at the same moment. So I would like to talk about ayahuasca from the perspective of a person who walked some journey from that moment. I would talk somehow 13 years ago, after my few first cups. I would recommend it to everyone. Just go there, drink it. It will bring love and peace to this planet. I didn't know what's gonna happen after, what's gonna bring it to my life, because everyone who would like to drink ayahuasca should know that it's one-way ticket. You're never gonna get back to your, let's say, lower state of consciousness, but state where you are satisfied with yourself, you know who you are, you have your truth, or you consider your truth to be quite important. But it's something what you should you should know, that it is really, it's gonna change your world. It's gonna change everything. If you are like I was materialist. I was atheist, and I didn't believe in metaphysical things, physical knowledges and beliefs. So that is something what really changed in the second. As I said, I knew I am God, and I knew I'm no one. It's this paranoia or schizophrenia of a mind which brings all the suffering, because if when I was in this ego consciousness, which suddenly was confronted with the knowing, with the experiencing that doesn't really exist or doesn't mean anything, then it's frightened, and frightened ego, it it's not good advisor. So during my experiences, and I had been returning to Colombia several times to drink more, and Then the years after, we drank with my wife and friends of ours, and since then the relationship of us is so deep. It's incredible when you live through experiences like this with your partner. It makes the relationship another level. I don't really get I don't really meet people in my surroundings which would have the relationship the way we do. I don't say one is better, one is worse, but we really go deep, and that's what ayahuasca really teaches us, that you're gonna go to the deepest level of your soul, of your heart, and you cannot finish before before you find the truth. And it seems like you never find it, that you look further and further inside, because you understand that everything, every reaction which is not loving, which is not kind, which is not calm and peaceful, is actually coming from your ego. And the ego is something what is the main reason of the suffering I have, or everyone has. It's the main reason of suffering in this world. Not the ego itself, but the identification with the ego. So during those experiences, when you lie down on the ground and you just beg on your knees, you scream, you wanna help, you want to quit the ceremony, you want to quit your life. All the time you know that's not something what will actually help you. You know you are more than this body, than this ego, and you can even kill yourself, but the soul, you know you are the soul which will come back, and your suicide is even, maybe it's gonna even make it worse for the next time. But yeah, that's it. You understand there that you're not this, you're bigger than this human experience. Actually, for me, as I went to these experiences into the expanded state of consciousness, I wasn't ready for it at the moment, and I was spaced out. I was really scared that I died. I'm dead. I'm crazy. I'm Jesus. Whatever. There are so many experiences which I had been going through during those times, and our brain just cannot handle this. It's too much. It's too much when you see yourself uh, not existing really as this body. You're when you think you are this one, and suddenly you see you don't really exist like this. You are something what you cannot understand, and it really can drive you crazy. I promise you. And everyone should know before you go try ayahuasca or some, yeah, ayahuasca. Take it in consideration that it's gonna be it's gonna be challenging. But at the same moment, you see who you really are when you are in that state and you experience the greatest suffering you can imagine. You cannot even imagine how great suffering of the ego can be. If you are able to move through this suffering and accept that you are not the ego, that you are love itself, that there is not a person which could be actually suffering, that you are just a channel of energy, of the love of God. Then it turns in a second, no time, from the greatest suffering to bliss, which is unimaginable. It's just pure being loved, being loved, being blessed, being happy, just being itself. And that's the deepest truth I got to know during my life, and that's something what I'm still learning to integrate into my life, because it's something what turned my life upside down. But I got to know that even in the greatest suffering, what really took me out was the realization that I'm not the sufferer I thought I was. The sufferer is the ego, the identification with the person which was disconnected from for the whole. But that is not our true nature. We are not disconnected. Our mind disconnects us from the whole. But if we manage to stop the mind, to stop the narrative of a victim, then the whole situation changes in no time. There is suddenly no one to suffer, and there is only love. So as I said, that is the biggest truth, the biggest message I have, and that's what I hold in my heart, and what I bring everywhere I am, even though I cannot really express it in a form I understand it, or I was able to understand it in this state of expanded consciousness. I'm learning to get back, to stay in this state of consciousness, in this realization of my God self, my connection with all that is, my oneness, our oneness, our non-duality, our indivisibility. So yeah, I learned this there in the state where I understood everything, when I was in touch with all the wisdom there is, or that was actually accessible for me, but still it was wisdom that I wasn't able to imagine before. But the thing is, I've seen this truth, this wisdom, but my human body wasn't really able to manifest it, or I wasn't able to take the message home. I took always some part of the message, but after some time I forgot, and I came back. I went back to the way how I behaved before, somehow not really that far back, but it's the way of of the journey, that you expand, you go further, you go back, you learn to integrate, and you go further up, and you go back again, but still you are climbing this steps, this ladder of the consciousness. And I'm learning how to do this in the normal life, how to live this in the normal life. And as I said, that is the biggest message I have. And as I'm a medical doctor, I can see that this realization, which works for mental suffering, it works for every suffering, because we are one whole system which has different layers. We have our layer, the physical one, we have the energetic layer to ourselves, we have our emotional level, we have our mental level, and we are one whole organism. So everything what happens in one part, in one area of this system, of course it influences all the other aspects of our system, of our being. So if there is suffering of any kind, suffering of our mental state, suffering of our emotional balance, suffering of the body, suffering of our energies going through, if there is any imbalance in any system, this balance is all the or everything. So when I apply this, my deepest understanding, I was able to touch that the ego, the identification with this person suffering, is the biggest trouble of the state, of the mental state. And the cure for that is realization that we are love, that we are part of God inside the tangible body. And this understanding, which we are only allowed to access if we stop the mind, go in the body, go in the heart, go in the being, not thinking, then this, which can bring the sudden, no time change from the greatest suffering to the greatest bliss, then what could be the better cure for any of our diseases than to do this all the time, or as much as we can. We change from suffering to bliss. We change from illness to health. It's just a decision to go from the disbalance in a balance. The balance is in a state of no mind, in a state of pure being present, being non-different from all that is, from God. That is the state where the wholeness of our being, the holiness, the wellness, the health can sprout from. And in this state where we are, from there we can let the health grow into all the areas, into all the layers of our body, of our organism. So from there, from the state, it's actually the state of connection, state of connection to us, to our true being, to our, as I said, to our heart, and through our heart to the God, to the whole creation, to the whole world, to Mother Earth. From this connection, this being love, the health regrows into the system. We can think of it from different perspectives. From the perspective of autonomous vegetative neural system where we have this parasympathetic and sympathetic part of the system. And when we are stressed, when we are suffering, when we go through suffering of any kind, then there is the activation of the sympathadrenergic system, and it creates a vicious circle which sends us towards exhaustion, inflammation, and all the diseases can sprout from that. The sympathetic system isn't created to be alerted, to be alarmed all the time. We are created to switch it on when there is danger and switch it off right after. Shake off the hormones which were flooded in our body, and then go back to our parasympathetic system, to our state of calmness, of relaxation, of vegetative functions of our digestive system, of our respiratory system, and whatever, all the systems, uh, they work when they have the right setting for it, and also they regenerate when they have the setting for when they are tuned to healing by the parasympathetic system and by the hormones which are sent into our blood when we are in this state. So if we want to heal our body, we should try to be as much as possible in this parasympathetic state, or in the state of calmness, peace, love. That's what is the state. And this state is most profoundly accessed when we realize we are part of some higher orchestration of this world, when we accept that we don't have control over everything in this world, and we allow this world to flow through us, when we stop our suffering mind and learn to be in a state of flow with the universe, then there is much easier to be in the state, or it happens by itself that we are in the state of healing. That state where we just stay as we are, we allow, but we also have the understanding that we are responsible for ourselves, for our decisions, for our manifestations. Nobody else, no circumstance, only we are responsible for what we do. That is what gives us the calmness and the trust in the process. When we trust, we suffer less. We don't suffer at all if we trust the most. So as I said, the manifestation is not that easy as it looks when you are in the state of expanded consciousness. If you are in the state where ayahuasca tells you you are God and you are creator of everything, and if you if you create only love, there will be only love in your life. That is true, but it's not that easy to do it in this world, in this human body. And as it happened to me also, the extreme happiness or extreme love and compassion and tolerance and understanding and enjoyment, it just faded out when I lived just in this spiritual way of understanding, but I didn't really put it in the action. I didn't really do what I believed is true. So that is something what even ayahuasca doesn't teach you. You have to take the wisdom to your life and go for it. Do it. And it's very, very difficult when you are not the manifester or the you don't have your creative force ignited. It can be really challenging when your consciousness is suddenly opened, you awakened, and well, well, now, you know. So be ready for that if you want to try ayahuasca. And as I said, when I drank it years and years ago, I would recommend to everyone to drink it because it can heal the world. And today, I would recommend to everyone to drink it because it can heal the world. But be ready for the change of the world, of your world. And it's great change. You know that the once you drink it, you know that the love which is there behind the veil, it's immense. You couldn't imagine that before. But the the clash with your reality can be difficult. So so ayahuasca definitely sent me to to this path, to this journey, self-exploration. I never regret it, even though it was difficult. But I know that the benefits are much bigger than the costs. And the journey is journey of looking for truth, of looking for for your better self, for your true self, loving self, self which is not contracted in programming, which is not scared. You realize that the fear is the biggest impeder. The fear is the biggest competitor to your happiness. The fear of letting go. But if you let go, there is no suffering anymore. But we are letting go piece by piece, losing the fears and losing the suffering little bit after little bit, moment after moment. We are not enlightened in the moment when we drink our cup, or we feel enlightened there, but then we wake down. No, we come back, but we saw something more. And in my opinion, it's something what really can help. So if there is some message I can share with the world, then it's this one. It's the message of overcoming our fears, of looking for truth, looking for the love in our heart, looking for state of no identification with any mental construct, with any identification of the personal importance, but searching for truth and love brings us all together, and the state where we wanna be is our common state of peace and love and compassion. So stop the fear by stopping believing. Fear is for the ego, but you're not the ego. Fear cannot touch you when you realize you are non-different from God. You are part of God. And this neutral state, this presence, Zen, being, love, it's from where the health grows into our body. So it's the base to all the healing we can do. From here we can do to any part of the body, to any system, to any organ, to any layer which is more subtle than physical. We can enter our emotional state or our emotional body. We can enter the energetics of our body. We can rewrite our experiences to and from this state. We can we can well, the mental constructs, they are not there anyways, so they are just healed at the moment when we are in the no mind state. But if we learn to stay in this state long enough, we remind ourselves to stay here, to stay this way. We allow our body to heal. Thank you so much.